Today's webinar consists of 5 contents. First of all, we will use Chori Systems Apogee 62000 to present you with gas spring daily maintenance, and then about the dust filter cleaning, and also troubleshooting for probe defects. And next, we will use portable models Apogee C5 to present you with the battery daily maintenance and also the troubleshooting for interference from environment. All these contents will be presented both by PPT and also demonstration on ultrasound systems. And at the end of the webinar, we will have Q&A time for all these contents. You can ask questions and we will answer one by one. Let's see the first content, gas spring daily maintenance. First of all, let's see the reason to do this. Keeping the LCD arm at a fixed height for a long time may result in gas spring decreased support. Therefore, with proper maintenance, it can extend the gas spring service lifespan. But if without proper maintenance, it may lead to the gas spring failure after a long time fixing at the same height. So let's see how to do this. What we recommend is to move the LCD arm at least once every 2 months as below. Adjust the LCD to its high gaze and low gaze position limit, and then change to a proper operating height as required. Next is the demonstration on ultrasound system. Now we will present you the daily maintenance of the gas spring. Please pay attention to the label on the back of the LCD. Keeping the LCD arm at a fixed height for a long time may result in discrete supports. So our recommendation is to move the LCD arm at least once for every 2 months as below. Adjust the LCD to its height and low position limit, and then change it to a proper operating height as required. The operation is finished. Let's see the second content, dust filter cleaning. There is a dust filter located at the bottom of the main unit above the front wheel of the Chori models. Its function is to prevent dust from getting into the ultrasound, so regular cleaning can ensure its good heat dissipation inside the ultrasound. Recommended frequency is every 6 months to 1 year. Now let's see the detailed step. First of all, find the filters located at the bottoms of the main unit above the front wheel. Take it out by pressing the 2 clips and then wash the filter pieces by water. Then wait until it's fully dry, put it back on the ultrasound systems. Next, we will show you how to disassemble the filter and do the cleaning. The filter is located at the bottom of the main unit above the front wheel. Press the 2 clips on the cover and remove it. Take out the filter and then clean the dust by water. Wait until it dries and then put it back. Next, let's see the troubleshooting for probe defect. Today, we'll focus on the most common seen image issue, that is, when you see black stripe in the image. Next, I will show two sample images. For example, for the image on the left, you can see the area marked in red. There is a black stripe, and it's the same on the right image, marked in red. You can see there is a missing area. So for such black stripe image issue, let's see the detailed steps of troubleshooting. Step 1. Freeze the image and connect this probe to all the probe sockets on ultrasound systems one by one to test. Unfreeze the image and then check its image on all sockets. This step is to check if this probe shows the same black stripe issue on all the sockets. If yes, that is, it happens on all sockets, let's move on to step 2. And if no, that means it only happens in one or some of the sockets. So this might be a connection issue. Freeze the image and then reconnect the probe tightly. If the reconnection doesn't help, also move on to step 2. Next, let's see the demonstration on ultrasound systems. Next is the demonstration for troubleshooting. First of all, step 1. Freeze the image. Connect this probe to all the sockets, one by one, on the ultrasound systems to test. Unfreeze the image and then check the image on all sockets. This step is to confirm if this probe shows all the same black stripe issues on all sockets. If yes, that is, it happens on all sockets, then move on to step 2. If no, that is, it only happens in one or some of the sockets, that means it might be the connection issues. So freeze the image and reconnect the probe tightly. If the reconnection doesn't help, move on to step 2. Next, let's see step 2. Freeze the image. Connect another good and compatible probe to all the sockets one by one to test. It doesn't have to be the same probe. It can be different probe, for example, convex, linear, vaginal probes, as long as it is compatible for this model. And then unfreeze the image by pressing the freeze key to check the image on all the sockets. This step is to confirm if the test probe shows the same black stripes issues on all the sockets. If this probe works fine, this means that the original probe is faulty. And if this test probe also shows the same issues, that means you need to check the hardware of the ultrasound systems. Next, let's see the demonstration on ultrasound systems. Step 2. Freeze the image. Connect another good and compatible probe to all the sockets one by one to test. This is another probe. Unfreeze the image, and then check all the image on all sockets. This step is to confirm if this new probe shows the same black stripe issues on all sockets. If this test probe works fine, it means the original probe is faulty. If the test probes also show the same black stripe issues, now you should check the hardware of the ultrasound systems. The demonstration for this troubleshooting is finished. Let's move on to the fourth content, battery daily maintenance. As you may know, battery is consumable. With proper daily maintenance, its lifespan can be well extended, ensuring its good and lasting performance. So let's see how we can properly maintain batteries. For ultrasound systems that are daily used every day, its battery will be charged every time it turns on. While for spare battery and for long-time unused battery, let's see SIUI recommendations as below. We suggest disassembling the spares and unused battery from ultrasound systems and store in dry, clean, and cool environment. Secondly, remember, high temperature and humidity are forbidden. And third, fully charge the batteries by adapter for every 1 to 3 months. Next, we'll present how to do maintenance for batteries. For batteries that left unused for a long time, we recommend to disassemble the battery and then put it in a dried and cleaned environment for store. Next is how to disassemble the battery. Remove the plastic. Take out the battery. And store the battery in dry and cleaned environment. For batteries unused for a long time, we recommend full charging every 1 to 3 months. Next is the charging demonstration. Put the battery back and put the cover back, and then connect the adapter to do the full charging. This is the maintenance for battery. The last content is troubleshooting for interference from environment. First of all, let's see how is the image affected by interference coming from the using environment. Next, I will show 2 sample pictures. On both sample images, you can see there continuously wave on the image area. This kind of image is affected by interference from environment. Next, let me introduce more about interference from environment. Mainly, there are 2 kinds of interference. Type 1 is power supply network interference. For example, the interference from the external power supply from the mains, and from the printer, from the LAN cable, and from the HDMI TV connections connected to the ultrasound systems, etc. Type 2. Space electromagnetic interference. For example, lamp and lights in the same room, or air conditioner, electronic medical devices in the same room or nearby, etc. So this might be the interference source, which might produce interference on the ultrasound image. So as we have understood the principles, next let's see how to eliminate the power supply network interference. First, turn off the ultrasound systems. Disconnect all the external connections, for example, adapter, USB disk, printer, LAN cable, HDMI TV connections, and then check if the interference on the image gets better. This step is to exclude the interference source coming from the external power supply network or the other devices using the same external power supply network. Next, let's see the demonstration on ultrasound systems. Next is the demonstrations of how to eliminate the interference. Step 1. Turn off the ultrasound systems. Disconnect all external connections, for example, adapters, USB disk, printer, LAN cable, HDMI connection, etc. Then check if the interference on the image gets better after turning on the ultrasound systems. This is to exclude the interference source coming from the external power supply network or the other devices using the same external power supply network. And if this step doesn't help, move on to step 2. These two more steps are to eliminate the space and electromagnetic interference. Turn off the electronic device nearby, for example, lights, air conditioners, computers, chargers, etc., and then see the image result. Also, you can move the ultrasound systems to another place, as far away from the original room as possible. Also, make sure you turn off all the electronic devices in the same room and nearby, and see if the interference disappears as you move it farther away. These two steps are to exclude the interference source coming from the space and electronic magnetic devices nearby. Next is the demonstration. Also turn off all the electronic devices in this room. If step 2 doesn't help either, move on to step 3. Move the ultrasound to another place as far away from the original room as possible. And also turn off all the electronic devices in this room. And then see if the interference disappears as you move the ultrasound systems farther away. These steps are to exclude the interference source coming from the space and electronic magnet devices nearby. The demonstration for this troubleshooting is finished.